Today I want to talk about gods and different gods in One Piece. Of course, with Luffy being the sun god Nika, it does make you think about things like this. Like, who is an actual god? Yes, I know. We're all thinking about Usopp right now. And Usopp, he is a god for all intents and purposes. But what is a god in One Piece? Or just in general, what is a god? Not including Kanye, right? A god is a deity or a supernatural being who is considered divine or sacred. Okay, Q&A to last 1,045 predictions. I guess I start with the 1,045 predictions. Now let's get to the actual Q&A. Okay, people, today this video is sponsored by Bokksu. Maybe asking yourself, well, what is Bokksu? Bokksu is a premium Japanese snack box subscription service that delivers original assortments of Japanese snacks and tea pairings. So every month you'll receive a box and it's a theme to it, right? But it's always a different theme and it's like a gourmet journey through Japan every month. It is literally amazing. And I'm excited every month when I get a Bokksu box because the theme, again, it's different. This theme this time is Sakura season. Not Sakura from Naruto, just Sakura, cherry blossoms, all right? And what's dope is they also give you a culture guide, right? So for me, I'm just excited and ready to try some stuff. That's what I'm going to do today for you guys. So, all right, let's get started. The first thing, and based on the Sakura guide, Sakura Boucher, right? And it's a small pastry with some sweet filling. So let's get to it, huh? And the box is so neat. And here it is, right? Open that up. All right, got it open. Oh, look at that, huh? Okay. That was good. It's just like a soft, sweetened bread with a filling that's strawberry. This is pretty fantastic. Well, that's a favorite. What are we trying next? After my last Bokksu box, I've fallen in love with these things. This is mochi. Y'all know how much I'm a fan of katakuri. I'm a fan of katakuri, so this is strawberry chocho mochi. Okay. It's vegetarian. Okay, man. This alone. Oh, this is worth the Bokksu box. I promise you. This is so exciting. It really is exciting. Next thing is strawberry milk marshmallow. Let's see. All right, this looks good out. It's pretty good. Okay. Oh, wow. Wow. Oh, okay. It kept going. It's like marshmallow, but it has strawberry chocolate or strawberry white chocolate in the middle. Yeah. Yep. I gotta stop now. I'm just keep going and I'm gonna eat everything. So needless to say, you can get your own box with these treats. They all really taste amazing. I know for Bokksu, these things are crafted specifically for this, so you can't find them anywhere else. If you really like them, you gotta get a Bokksu box, different box every month. You can even turn it into a challenge, do it with your family, do it blindfolded. It's a taste of Japan every single month. So if you'd like your own box, I have an amazing deal for you. You can use my code LAW10 and the link will be in the description and you can get your own authentic Japanese snack subscription box. Guys, I'm excited to stop recording just so I can finish eating. I don't wanna be too greedy on camera. So again, link below, check it out. Once you do, let me know what you think about it because this stuff is fantastic, guys. I can't wait for you to try it. So what I try to do is just pull up comments, right? Pull up some comments, just pull up a video and then just go through the comments and, talk about the best ones. Typically it's like an hour of recording, just going through some comments, then just pull out the best ones. So that's what we're going to do here. Not an hour of recording. It's probably an hour of recording, but what you're going to see is probably 10, 15 minutes of it, right? So without further ado, let's get to the comments. Golden Eye 21 says the Gorosei is saying that all Zoan fruits have a will of their own. May explain why when Smile fruit users transform, their animal side has a personality of their own. Yes, Zoan fruits having a will of their own was a crazy revelation. Something that we figured with Funk Freed and all that, but it wasn't never confirmed like this. Why do they have a will of their own as opposed to other devil fruits? I would assume because they're based off of animals. So animals were used to create these devil fruits, I'm assuming. But then it makes you think about devil fruits and the origin of it. Like, how did we get here? How did we get to the point that you're creating mythological devil fruits, mythical Zoan fruits, or Logia or Paramecia fruits? I wonder if every single devil fruit type will have a unique thing to them, right? Of course, Zoans have a will. What about Logia? Is not necessarily a will, but what's special about them? And then Paramecia, what's special about them? How do you get a jacket fruit? I know I keep bringing that shit up, but how do you get that? You know what I mean? It's funny. Username Nika says, fun fact, did you know that in SBS, Oda stated that he would want to make a story about Garp and Dragon because their backstory is so good? I'm hyped. We always talk about that. We would like a prequel with Garp's era, Roger, Garp, Kong, make him an actual freaking character. Just seeing them grow. That's something I would love to see. And if Oda goes there, I'm all for it. I 100% expect Garp's and Dragon's backstory to be game changing, especially Dragon.
dragons. Because for Garp, they're bits and pieces. We pretty much know the gist of it. For Dragon, we pretty much don't know anything. Aiden says, I actually expect Joy Boy's backstory to be filled by trauma and tragedy. I can see him having the worst past possible and decided to still be smiling and laughing despite the fact that his life is filled with sorrow and pain. I can see him deciding that rather than crying, he decides to laugh and smile and make people smile because nobody saved him, so he wanted to become the person to help others and make them laugh. Joy Boy is going to be a story of laughing and tragedy, obviously, because he chose not to save the world. So there was something and a reason behind that. Joy Boy seems to be a good guy. He could be a fucking super villain, but he seems to be a good guy so far. So I expect him to have some reasoning behind his decision to not save everyone. SOL says, I'm quite surprised that nobody has talked about the fact that we've seen or heard this kind of power before from another work of fiction and is tied to being the power of another god. Does anyone remember the movie The Mask? It's supposedly the same kind of power, only limited by the imagination as well as being tied to the god Loki. The Mask. I remember my first time watching The Mask. My first takeaway was Cameron Diaz. Other than that, it was a very zany, just loony, just weird movie, right? I loved it though. One of my favorite movies of all time. When I think of The Mask, I think of him breaking into the bank and just like spinning out of it. And it's just like, it's so over the top. And Jim Carrey is so perfect in that role, man. Yeah, The Mask did come to mind like after the fact, you know, after discussing it a bit. So yeah, I like that comparison a lot. Guido Grinafini says, nice video. Another hint from Oda. The first Hito Hito no Mi choppers was introduced in Drum Kingdom. Not sure if it was on purpose, but I want to believe that it was. Well, Drum Kingdom could be really significant. Blackbeard went there for a reason. And Blackbeard, he does not traverse into areas without a purpose. Everything seems to be purposeful. Everything seems to have a rhyme or reason to it for the most part. So him going to Drum Kingdom, the Hito Hito being introduced in the Drum Kingdom, it's not something that I'm overlooking. It's not something that I'm saying, you know what, this could be much ado about nothing. There's nothing at this point that makes me say that. Like, we're too far gone. We're too far in. And there's so many things, so many connections. It's like everything should be taken seriously. Everything should be dissected. We should not be overlooking anything. That's just where we are in the story right now. Ooh, I like this shit. Double Swag says, my theory on the eyes is that the circle around the pupil is showing us two merged souls that are looking at the same time. So with Mihawk, it's his sword. With Cavendish, it's Hakuba. With Zunisha, it's probably a devil fruit. Same with Emu and now Luffy and Nika. Joy Boy. I like that. I like that a lot, Double Swag. That is a fantastic observation. Your hockey is off the charts. And for people that are watching, I'm hoping yours is as well, because I would assume you've already hit that sub button. And if you have not, if you haven't even realized, haven't thought about it, I'm putting it in your head right now. Look down, click that button. If you already subscribed, drop a like. Now is the time, and let's get back to the Q&A. Light Salazar says, now it's pretty clear to me that smiling or laughing is a key to awakening your devil fruit. The cutscene in chapter 1011, that's what Kaido said, the more you laugh, using your ability, the more it awakens. Dofi is smiling when he awakens his devil fruit. Meanwhile, Katakuri is covering his mouth, but I'm pretty sure he was smiling, laughing inside because he found a worthy opponent. I don't think there's enough to say that, Salazar. I would say this. For different devil fruits, they're gonna have different ways and reasons and checkpoints to awaken. For Luffy, because of his type of devil fruit, smiling could be the reason. For Kaido, I think it's something completely different. For Doflamingo, something completely different, right? It's almost like the time I was reincarnated as a slime, right? It's not a one-to-one comparison, but to become a demon lord, there are things you have to do that, right? To become a demon lord. I think like for every devil fruit, there's something that you gotta do. Different checkpoints. For the jacket, maybe you gotta swag out in the North Face for a little bit to awaken your fruit. For Kodozone's fruit, maybe you gotta sing in a shower in silence. For Crocodile's fruit, maybe you just gotta like do it when, maybe you just gotta go with no lotion for a while. And not talking about like lubricating your body. You see what I'm saying? There could be different reasons and ways to awaken. That's all I'm saying. Alex will not say, I don't think Oda will dive much deeper into Toon Force. Luffy making the surrounding environment rubber is similar to Dofi's awakening. Even if Luffy can conjure rubber weapons, that's similar to Katakuri's awakening. Yeah, it's very similar. Again, if this was not named the Nika Nika or the Hito Hito Nika, whatever the hell, you know what it is. This awakening would not be crazy. It'd be just like, okay, this makes sense for Luffy's awakening. He's just more unhinged. He is just more malleable. He can do more things. That's all we would say. With Oda giving it the lore and building it up, people are kind of overstating what it's doing, but it's doing what we expect from an awakened devil fruit. Let's be honest here. Jared Bradley says, I'm starting to wonder if Shanks is a higher level of spy for the elders. Did he let them know that Luffy has this fruit and they just ignored him? When Shanks told Luffy come see him after he's become a great pirate, did he know what Luffy ate and could become? The movie we read is going to be good. I hope it's canon. Canon elements, not canon. Shanks, I don't think he's a spy. I think he's just someone that's trying to balance the world until it's time for Luffy to take over or for Luffy to do what he needs to do. I think Shanks was entrusted to Straw Hat to find the next Joy Boy, to find the person who can follow up and become the person person that Luffy is right now. One of the popular theories is that he was looking for Ace, did not find Ace, so then Luffy obviously ate the fruit, said things Roger would have said, and Shanks was like, you know what, I'm betting on this little kid. So I don't think he's a spy. It would be an ankle breaker if he was, but I don't think he is. Bagaskata G says, or GI says, I want a discussion about Luffy's devil fruit. What if when Luffy ate the Gomu Gomu no Mi as a child, he didn't say any of Roger's words? Will Shanks still sacrifice his arm and give him the Straw Hat, or else will Shanks kill Luffy because the devil fruit was more important, or else again, will Shanks move on to Ace to give the Straw Hat because he's the closest thing to the sun with the Meta Meta no Mi? Very good question. I think it's hard to answer because he was fond of Luffy. Luffy was around them. Luffy looked up to Shanks. So him killing Luffy's out of the question, I think. I don't think he was ever going to kill Luffy, even if it meant Luffy eating the fruit. Him giving Luffy the hat, though, right? It's a next step because he already sacrificed his arm to save Luffy. I wonder if it's a hindsight 2020 thing. Sacrificed his arm. Luffy said he's going to build a crew greater than Shanks. Shanks gives him the hat. Are those words, that ambition, did that sell him? He didn't give him the hat right away. Luffy had to say those words. So then is it just a manga writing thing to make the moment a bit more dramatic? It's hard. It's hard to parse it. Was Shanks looking for Ace? Ace would be 100% a better candidate at that point. All that Shanks knows Luffy's lineage, which I would assume he does. The Yonko, they have crazy information network. We should know who this Monkey D. Luffy kid is, but it's hard to say. I still think he would never kill Luffy, even if he didn't think Luffy would be amazing. It's just like, hey, all right, we know who has it, so we can come back and get it at any time. But that's depending on if Shanks knows the significance of having a Gomu Gomu no Mi. Toasted_donut says, I gotta say, there's gonna be tough making this the most ridiculous power in the world. When you have the pocket fruit, the jacket fruit, and of course the likes of Hamlet and Fortrix, some big shoes to fill in my opinion. Yeah, I think in regards to ridiculousness, if it's actually affecting its surroundings, meaning the people Luffy's touching, it's ridiculous. In terms of just being funny, goofy, not strength. I mean, it's strong. I think it's easily a top 10 fruit, but more so towards ridiculousness. They talked about Luffy's strength and the fruit that the strength that the fruit brings. So doubling down doesn't make sense. So it's just about it being funny, but I think it can surpass the likes of those for sure. Fortrix may be difficult, but I think it can do that. Revenant Ronin says, a key detail you missed. Luffy used the rubberized ground to block the blast breath and then bent his arms inward and turned the wall into a concave form to bounce it back. Give me Popeye flashbacks. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot more Popeye's clips, but not Popeye the Sailor Man clips. Seeing Popeye's clips, that makes me hungry. But seeing Popeye the Sailor Man clips, I'm like, oh wow, this is Luffy. It's so much like Luffy. It's insane. So Oda just draws inspiration for so many different things. It's actually wild. Like, I'm sure there are people on the other side saying Oda is stealing from other shows, which is like, shut up. Enel has a mythical zone human fruit model Zeus. His body turns into lightning and thunder during combat, and he keeps saying he's a god, or a god because he might actually be one. I don't think so. I think he's the Gorogoro Logia fruit. You know what? It's interesting because now I'm looking at fruits. I wonder if in a different area, different culture in the One Piece world, where they call Enel's fruit a god fruit. They call it a mythical zone. Like Enel's fruit is the mythical zone Zeus, right? How he restarted his heart is like other places are classifying it as just Gorogoro no Mi, right? Rumble. It makes me start to think like, does every fruit have another name, or it's being classified as something else? Like every fruit derives from something mythical, right? So technically all fruits are mythical, but in different cultures, different sub areas, it's classified differently, like Haki and Ryo. I don't know, maybe I'm just talking out my ass right now, but it's starting to make me feel like devil fruits are not as straightforward because they're named by the world government. But what if they were named before? Like, this is the mythical fruit from Zeus or whatever. You know what I mean? Would be interesting. Joshua Kia says, I honestly don't understand why so many people are getting upset about Luffy being the chosen one, especially when Oda still hasn't explained to us yet about the prophecy, what it actually means to be Joy Boy. But more importantly, from a meta writing perspective, literally every single protagonist / main character is the chosen one of their series, whether it's specifically stated or not. So many good points, Josh. I agree with you 100%. Too soon. Wait and see approach. Every character, every main character typically is a chosen one. It is just why we are following the character. They have to be interesting. They have to be special for the most part. Some stories do play off of that and make the character intentionally not special, but they are chosen by the author to be the main vantage point that we follow. We can't get mad at this. It's too soon. Give it some time. Let's see it play out. It reminds me of time travel all over again, right? Where it's like, oh my God, Oda's gonna destroy. He actually did a pretty solid job. Yes, give it some time. It's fucking Oda, man. Red-haired Cloud says the term God is not clearly defined in One Piece yet. Enel was considered a god to the people of Skypiea, but was just a guy with Logia powers and powerful observation haki. Until we call Luffy a god, we gotta see what that actually means in One Piece. Just made a video about this, where gods are typically not what we regard as gods. Omnipotent, all-knowing. There are no gods in One Piece, true gods. It's all about being legendary, right? A deity is someone that's worshipped and looked at in the supernatural sense, there are no true gods in One Piece. All these people, everything, all the gods in One Piece can typically be explained. For the Lunarians, if you meet a Lunarian, you're like, oh, that's a freaking god. He can't hurt him. Fire, wings, beautiful, that's a god. No, just a Lunarian, but that's how you classify things. It's almost like with Kaido. Kaido can't be defeated, right? He's invincible for the most part. That's the rumor. Big Mom and what we heard about her. No, they're just strong as shit. That's the main thing, just strong as shit. Let's get one more in there. Raining says Captain Kid is the perfect example of no imagination. He's still doing the same stuff he did in the first half of the series, just stronger. But if he uses imagination, he could be carrying around like metal shavings with him and basically be able to form them however he wants. For him, it would always be like having nanotech. Yeah, but we don't know what Oda has in store. And plus I don't agree with Kid not being imaginative. He made a freaking random ass bull. That's imagination for you. And then Kid is such a low hanging fruit, man. He did some cool, especially the laser. Come on, bro. Give him his credit. He's not that bad. Unknown Variable says when Blackbeard fought Ace, he said, let's see who will win, the sun or the darkness. He said, let's see who will win. He said, let's see who will win, the sun or the darkness. That will take on a whole new meaning when Luffy and Blackbeard inevitably clash. Yes, this is going to mean something completely different. It's going to have crazy ramifications. I wonder if Blackbeard mentions that. You know, your brother said, let's see who will win, sun or darkness, and we see how that turned out. It's going to be the same thing again, kid. So that's going to be interesting. But guys, give me your thoughts on 1045. Please, if you have read the spoilers, stay the frick out of this conversation. But give me your thoughts on everything. Make sure to like the video if you did. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Follow me on Twitter at BragoDAce. Follow me on Instagram at BragoD.Ace. Thank you to my patrons. I appreciate you guys all so much. Again, guys, be sure to like and subscribe. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
I start doubting me, I felt lost.